when you get to be a part of the day that person signs a lease and gets a set of keys, and you get to be a part of collecting a donation of a mattress and sheets and a pillow, and you know that that person is going to wake up in their own space without the sound of other people or of strangers, or the sound of the birds, that kind of stuff. I'm sorry, it's a really big deal. You get to be a part of really changing somebody's life in this really impactful way. And we do so much of that with this unrestricted support. That's really how we get it done. So, sorry.
Both sides of the aisle were able to look at this and to see the potential benefit. And whether you be Democrat or Republican, I think you probably do truly care about people who may be hungry or homeless.
Without our sort of the wedge of individual support that we get from this tax credit, we would be 25% out on our budget. And so it fills a big hole. We're the lowest barrier shelter in northern Arizona, so we really are meeting the need of people that are most likely to die on the streets.
So that program oftentimes struggles for grants and other resources, and so the tax credit money that we acquire can go to that particular program and provide the resources to hopefully turn those people's lives around.
What it simply does is it allows a taxpayer to make a donation to a qualified charitable organization and receive a bottom line dollar-for-dollar tax credit against their state income tax liability.
So if you owed the state $1,000 in taxes, and I've made my $800 donation to Housing Solutions, now I owe the state $200 in taxes. When that charitable tax credit got doubled, holy cow, like this is the area that really then could make a difference between keeping a program or expanding a program in light of funding cuts from various other sectors.
Even though officially it's diversion of tax dollars, it's really philanthropic. It's the love of neighbor and taking care of one another.
Most people, I think, enjoy or feel good about when they're able to write that check and direct it at the entities that they believe in. I think there's some value to that.
If you have concerns that the state of Arizona is not the most efficient user of those funds, and you want a more direct route to impact in your community, the tax credit would be a way to do that.
A child that's enrolled in Big Brothers Big Sisters, our cost to keep that child matched, professionally monitored, activities, everything, costs $1,500 a year. To keep a child in the juvenile court for 1 year costs $45,000. You're saving money and you're providing a service for youth that is sustainable, it's fiscally smart, and it's also benefiting the community as well.
We just started a program then last year that's a home repair and wheelchair ramp building program. And that's where some of our tax credit dollars are being designated.
Working with Habitat was way beyond anything I'd gotten from the public sector. They came, they researched, they designed, and then the volunteers came and put it together.
Tax credit, when you say what does it do to help, it's like, well, it depends. There's so much stuff that we need help with just to keep operating. I mean, my wife and I have taken a couple loans out of our own house just to keep the places going. So that's like, when it comes to people, and it's a service that needs to be done in the community because addiction is the #1 crisis in America right now.
The recovery that I did try in Phoenix was a room with recliners, with everybody getting into scrubs and sitting in chairs, and then I spoke to somebody on a TV.
So a lot of rehabs and government places and stuff, they are a big piece, but a lot of them are Band-Aids.
Coming into Steps to Recovery Homes taught me all over again how to live on a daily basis, how to be accountable for myself, how to want to participate in my own life again.
But there's no state licensed or government agencies that have like a sober living where they take people off the streets and they put them in there and they start working with them.
We do have subsidized housing, but the housing lists are 6 months to 2 years. So I decided, okay, let me open up a homeless shelter. It is alcohol and drug free, but you get in that evening. Because when you're freezing outside, when it's freezing, you need it tonight, not tomorrow. We were able to keep the doors open because initially I opened it up with just my own funds, the homeless shelter. So with the tax credit, we've been able to keep it open this past year because of the Arizona tax credit.
It's dramatically, in my opinion, more effective than anything the government is able to do.
Donors are educated and wise and investing in organizations that they know and love in their community because they can see that impact. So the accountability goes back to the donor then to make smart investments of their tax dollars in their community to support programs that really make a difference.
I mean, it really comes down to that individual giving. It's what do you want to see in your community? Who do you want to help? And what kind of results do you want to have?
I was talking to somebody about the tax credit. I said, you know what, you don't got to donate all your money to me. You can donate 100 here, 100 here, and 100 here. And that's what I'm about. Why don't you donate to the places you really care about?
So the exciting thing about the tax credit is that it's really easy. On our coalition portal, there's a link, and you can go to a secure website that's managed by the Community Foundation, and you can click if you're an individual or a couple, and you can decide to split your donation among however many members of the coalition you want. So you can say, gosh, I'm really passionate about kids, so I want to support Big Brothers Big Sisters and the Boys and Girls Club, and oh yeah, I think food's important too, so the Food Center. And do 3 organizations, and now my one donation is being split equally among those 3 organizations. I get my tax credit letter back from the Community Foundation immediately. So the FlexF Tax Credit Coalition has been more successful than I had hoped. Honestly, it's been awesome. We all work together, and when we're all helping folks who are low income, most vulnerable, however you want to define it, then they need childcare and they need health care and they need a stable, secure food supply and they need affordable housing.
We want to stand next to all of these amazing organizations with one megaphone talking about how important the work we do is in this community.
The Tax Coalition also made it very simple for donors, and that was a big deal. When donors can come in and look at a list of qualified agencies and not have to guess, not have to worry, that makes it for a very easy donation. And that's what donors want. They don't want to have to do a lot of research. They're able to look at a list, they're able to recognize brands and names of organizations that they're familiar with their mission and their philosophies, and then they can choose to donate and help support them. It's really hard to segregate out very specific human needs. So when you have hunger, when you need shelter, when you have other items in which are required for living, those are basic human necessities. And I think it takes out some of the politics.
Tax credit really resonates on the right and the left. So for more of your fiscal conservatives who want to see reduced government oversight, it goes to the local communities. There's local decision making of where my tax dollars are going, and that makes a lot of sense. And then on the left, it's really social programs that are helping our most vulnerable. So it's more of a social justice investment.
I would strongly recommend other states just to take a look at what we've got in place and consider doing it.
Do it incrementally. You don't have to solve it all in 1 year. Just try it, see what happens, and see how the nonprofits respond, see how, is the accountability adequate enough? And then, okay, this makes sense. Well, then let's increase it and see what happens.
So it's really a win-win, regardless of what side of the political spectrum you're on.